Turn on the AC. It's Angel Caruso.
Last name is pronounced?
Koteas.
Koteas.
Like...
Elias. Pretty name, Elias.
Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk about Elias Koteas, one of my favourite actors that is not that mainstream, not that many people know him by name.
When I first read it, I thought, he was this TV scientist, the guy who was obsessed with computerized management of world traffic, and just that alone.
They might recognise him from movies from the past.
Everything that.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about Elias Koteas. Koteas was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, to a father who worked as a mechanic for the Canadian National Railways and a millionaire mother. His parents are both of Greek descent. Koteas is a graduate of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York as well as Vanier College in Montreal. Koteas has played major roles in Some Kind of Wonderful, The Adjuster, Exotica, Crash, Fallen, The Thin Red Line, among other films. Koteas is also known for playing the lead role of Thomas Daggett in the American film The Prophecy, and for portraying sports-crazed vigilante Casey Jones in two of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films. In 2010 he played major roles in Let Me In and Defender, a Canadian superhero film starring Woody Harrelson. On television he appeared in Season 4 of The Sopranos as Dominic Palladino, and in Season 2 finale of House as a man who shoots Dr. Gregory House. From 2014 to 2018, Koteas starred in the NBC Chicago Fire spin-off Chicago PD, where he played Alvin, a long-time undercover detective in the intelligence unit. He also appeared in all other Chicago franchises.
It's coming along nicely. Do you want a fist in the mouth? Yeah.
So I believe the first place that I found him was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I absolutely adored him as Casey Jones. He has got such a kind acting persona that when he becomes a villain, which he can play, it's difficult. He reminds me of Robert De Niro. He's equally as good as Robert De Niro. The problem is Robert De Niro got there first. Then I saw him in Almost an Angel. Again, love him in this film. He came back for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 film. However, that is a terrible movie. But it's not because of him. He does a great performance. I don't think he wants to be remembered as Casey Jones, as you can see in this clip. He feels uncomfortable. The guy doesn't want to be remembered for that. He's done better than that. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about him. Okay, some more facts about Elias Koteas. So, he speaks Greek fluently as well as French. As of 2014, has appeared in 3 films that were nominated for the Best Picture Oscar: Atlantic City in 1980, The Thin Red Line in 1998, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button in 2008. He is frequently confused for actor Christopher Meloni. Although Koteas is less beefy, Meloni is of Italian-French descent rather than Greek. Is a Greek Canadian. Alumnus of the AADA, American Academy, blah blah, I don't know what any of that is. Appears frequently in Atom Egoyan's films Ararat, Exotica, and I've never heard of them. Friend of Leonardo Terma. I don't know who that is either, so we're not even going to fucking talk about that shit. Right.
And I shall never ever forget you.
Hey.
Wonderful performance.
Yeah.
Okay, he is 5'10". He was born on March the 11th, 1961. His wife was Jennifer Rubin.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful.
Here are some personal quotes of Elias Koteas. I would think I'd accomplished it all if I could get to play Quasimodo. I play guys who are willing to go really far. If the dung really hits the fan, I don't know if I could walk the talk. But anyone who isn't willing to die for his convictions isn't worth living. My characters, no matter how demented they are, they have their convictions. A lot of these roles that I feel like I have had some sort of impact or that have had an effect on me have always been with directors who have had the time to somehow get to know me. Any good director is going to be curious about who it is that's coming aboard. Because of lack of time, A lot of directors hope that you just have the character in your pocket and you just show up and do it. I think children exist on a different spiritual vibration. I think they really keyed in on any bullshit barometer. So for them to put their arm around me and accept me was gratifying. As an actor, that's what I hope and aspire to be, a 12-year-old. Then at the same time, you're looking at them at the cusp of a change, and they're firing on all spiritual cylinders and reflecting back what they see. I felt like I was in the presence of something really special.
What about you, mister? You're not blind. What do you see?
In 2011, on Some Kind of Wonderful, which was made in 1987, that was for the summer of 1986. I was 25 years old, fresh out of acting school, exhilarated, living in Los Angeles for the summer. The joy of being in Hollywood, everything was new. John Hughes, I had auditioned for him for She's Having a Baby, and he liked me enough and was interested in me enough to set me up with the director, Howard Deutsch. I remember auditioning a couple of times, and each time felt more fun and improvisational. They just let me improvise. I felt so free and uninhibited. The character of the page was the huge, burly type guy, and they saw this little glint in the eye. There was just so much joy in playing the part. I felt like there was no wrong of playing it, as long as you were just committed and had fun with it. The freedom that I felt doing the part, I longed for that. If I could go back to that, there was no fear involved. It was just a complete, unabashed, free, moment-to-moment joy.
Got a girl now?
Nah, not lately. I don't know, just something about me seems to be putting him off.
Talking about The Prophecy in 1995, I was given an opportunity, a great character, but it just felt like I missed the boat on that one. But it was just brilliant the way that Greg put it together. Great actors all around. I'm not talking about that. This is an interview on Tells. 1989, the summer of a 28-year-old. Hair was flowing, I felt healthy, strong, awesome hair. I don't know what happened, you just felt alive. My one attempt at being a hero, a vigilante in the park, looking for bad guys, it was fun, especially with Jim Henson and the puppets. It was cutting edge technology at the time. It was a magical summer in Wilmington, North Carolina. I get stopped by kids, not kids anymore, they're 25 to 30 saying, "There's Casey Jones." There are worse things in the world. It brings a smile to my face.
That? Wayne Gretzky? On steroids?
The dome head?
Another one of my favourites, Collateral Damage. I had no idea what I was doing in that movie. The director, Andrew Davis, he was lovely. He wanted me to be in the movie, and I was going to be in the movie. Who was I to say? I have no idea what any of this political stuff means. I could sit here and tear it apart, tear myself apart mostly, but Andrew is a great filmmaker and he does great stuff. He shows great stories. Sometimes the journey could be fun and informative, other times it's over your head. You're playing roles that emotionally you may not be connecting with, but you do the best you can to tell the story. It was very surreal. You're part of a big budget film traveling to Mexico, downtown Los Angeles. I mean, you pinch yourself. It's a blessing. But do I relate personally to the politics of this kind of thing? I probably don't. But if I had the chance to play it all over again, I'm a little bit more informed by it. I've lived a little bit longer. I think I've grown a little bit. I know how to work a little bit more deeply. I don't know. I know I first met Arnold Schwarzenegger during the rehearsal and we were introduced to each other like he adopts accent. The Weasel. He referred to my character as the Weasel. I thought he was so professional and he knew his lines and he cared. All the energy in the world. I take my hat off to that guy. He was great. And he wanted you to be at your best too. He wanted to keep up. He was very humble. He knew what his strengths were. And he knew what everyone else's strengths were. He tried to bring it on at the moment. You know what? I was in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That kind of brings a smile to my face.
Now, a little Primatine might just...
On Shutter Island, God man, I was working with Martin Scorsese. It was the quietest set I've ever been on. It was almost reverential. I felt like I went home. He made me feel like I belonged. It was a magical time. It was only a week of my life in Boston. I grew up watching stuff that he did. Suddenly, to be on set with him, working together, you got to pinch yourself. It was very intimidating and nervous. Suddenly, you're there in the middle of the scene. You've got to make it happen. You hope to God that your presence enough to try a lot of different things. Oh, and I remember one day I was sitting in a trailer putting on the makeup and in comes Max von Sydow. And on my cell phone, my ringtone is Tubular Bells, the theme from Exorcist. Here comes this very elegant, quiet gentleman, and he comes in and he sits right next to me so he could put his makeup on. We say hello to each other and it's all very nice. Then it occurred to me, if someone were to call me, there would be tubular bells ringing, and I thought that would be a great icebreaker, but nobody called. It didn't occur to me to call up my girlfriend and say, hey babe, could you call me right now? I would have had call her name and I would have let it ring. It would have cracked everybody up.
Pronounced
Koteas.
Koteas. Elias. Pretty name, Elias. Koteas.
Yeah. You know Bobby?
So, to conclude, this is Elias Koteas, one of my favourite actors, underrated, underused, but highly appreciated by me, and hopefully by many others. And I just want to leave that one there.
Elias, good morning.
Good morning to you.
We have not met before, but I feel, having seen you in The Thin Red Line, that I shall never, ever forget you.
Hey.
Wonderful performance.
Yeah. It's haunted me since I...
Turn on the AC. It's Angel Caruso.